It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say.
KBL, you a menace.
Yeah. It's a lot of little boys out here talking that talk, but ain't spinning and walking that walk. 5 bills to get you whacked, 50 shots up in this Mac, face shots to make the news, we just step when they relax, group chats to get you tapped, forehead up in my lap, when they pump we run it back, tell my youngin' cut no slack, 5 bills to get you whacked. What's the good old big deal with the good old people, man? It's your boy Young Aunt Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead, like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's Hot Topics with your boy Young Aunt Hefe. And I'm here to deliver you another one like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topics is Ceddy Nash and Lil Woody. So I'm here again with this situation. This is going to be the third segment I spun pertaining to the situation, but that's because there's new information pertaining to this situation. You might know, you might not know. Things are news to me. I'm going to share it with you. So originally I had hopped out there on a segment that Ceddy Nash had brought Lil Woody over there to the Rolling 60s. In that segment, I ended up finding out that Ceddy Nash, you know what I'm saying, was a self-proclaimed member of the 60s. And he had, I guess, some type of relationship with Lil Woody. Now, a lot of dudes was happy to see Lil Woody over there, and there was some dudes that was not happy. And by way of those dudes that were not happy, Ceddy Nash came out and made a public apology, you know what I'm saying, for ruffling whoever feathers that felt some type of way about Woody being in the 60s. Now, with all that being spoken of and came out, you know how I go with the fans and the supporters. They went crazy. Oh, man, he can't stand up for Woody. Oh, he is snitch too. He did the same thing, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I'm just listening to it, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not going to never just, for the most part, come and just say something that somebody told me, unless it was just like, you know, some incriminating stuff. Unless, that's why I always speak on where I heard something from in or show. Not speak on where I heard it from. It's been a small few times I probably spoke on something I heard, but for the most part, I bring it to you where I got it from, where it came from, if not letting you hear it right out. So he made the apology. Amongst that apology, people start saying he's all bad. So I'm like, well, show the facts. I get sent a live recording of Ceddy Nash on the news speaking about a crime that took place. Off the bat, just looking at the situation, and if you survey it, and if you anybody who's been in them courtrooms, anybody that's been incarcerated, a part of this this system they have in place, it's only one thing to call what was shown, and that was reporting and or telling. So I dropped this segment because I couldn't understand like how was Ceddy Nash even speaking on the terms in the same sentence with Lil Woody, and he had a situation of his own. Y'all know the internet. I'm pretty sure that's got spread it around. People sent segment to Ceddy Nash himself, I'm pretty sure. From that, I go to No Jumper yesterday. You know, we in there. Y'all that watch No Jumper, y'all seen the show. If y'all didn't see yesterday's episodes, man, tap in, you know what I'm saying, for some of that good, real hef effect, you know what I'm saying, the theatrics that was going on in the rest of the pod. During that segment yesterday, Ceddy Nash called in, and Ceddy Nash dropped a cold bombshell. So the first thing Ceddy Nash said was that he didn't tell. And I gave him the floor to explain why he didn't tell, because I hopped out there, and like I said, I don't never want to call anybody a snitch or rat or put any label on anybody that doesn't belong. So he hops on the phone. He said that first and foremost, the situation with him on the news is him acting. So I'm like, what you mean acting? You got role part, got casted in Hollywood? What's going on? Oh, no, they got a thing called, what was that called we talked about on No Jumper yesterday? Crisis actors or something like that. So I guess a crisis actor is somebody who have not potentially seen a crime, but is recruited by the news and paid by the news to say they seen a story, and supposedly the news is the people that's corroborating this story for them to tell. Now, however, I had never heard of the term. Everybody else had never heard of the term. But as this was going on, there was one person in the room who did hear the term, and that was Lush. And Lush tried to explain that there are crisis or crisis actors, but they don't use their real name when they're up there on the news reporting. And we seen on that report that Ceddy Nash name was used. Furthermore from that, we got some paperwork. Ceddy Nash got at me and he dropped some paperwork. So we about to drop this paperwork, and we're going to let him go over this paperwork, and y'all already know it's the hef way and the hef effect. We're going to commentate.
To do this because this is actually a sad story, and I had no idea. Now, obviously, once the boom, boom, boom drop, you know, it is what it is on that one. But I want y'all to read this, right? Well, listen, because I'll read it for you. People versus Teles, Court of Appeal of the State of California, 3rd Appellate District, Sacramento, January 16, 2019. Not to be published, California Rules of Court. Rule 8.1115A prohibits courts and parties from citing or relying on opinions not certified for publication or ordered published except as specified by rule. The same one with the B instead. This option has not been certified for publication or ordered published for purposes of Rule 8.115, Superior Court number 12 FO 7541. Defendant Epidio de Jesus Teles appeals following conviction of second-degree murder with personal and intentional discharge of a firearm causing death, count 1. Possession of firearm by a felon, count 2. And receipt of stolen property, a .45 caliber handgun, count 3. Statutory section references that follow are to the penal code unless otherwise set forth. Defendant admitted he killed the victim, but claimed it was in self-defense. Defendant contends the trial court erroneously limited defense investigation into whether this homicide victim previously committed an unsolved murder in 2003 and abused the court's discretion by allowing a witness to speculate that the victim was not armed. Defendant also claims the prosecutor's argument to the jury improperly infringed on defendant's privileged communications with his lawyer and improperly invoked a biblical passage. We reject all contentions but remand to the trial court to consider whether to exercise its newly legislated discretion to strike the section 12022.53 gun enhancement pursuant to legislative amendment effective January 1st, 2018 and applicable to cases pending on appeal. Facts and proceedings. See, this is the part right here where some of you guys, y'all gonna have to stop being so doggone lazy. And I'm really not dissing. What I'm about to start doing from now on, I'm gonna just let y'all talk, bro. And if I can profit off of this BS, I'm gonna profit off of this BS. So we're gonna be having some boom, boom, boom t-shirts.
And boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Injured in a crash? Accepting a low-ball insurance payout could cost you your health. Accidents can...
In a minute, man. Facts and proceedings. At trial, it was undisputed that defendant shot and killed Jesse James Nunez on November 7, 2012, around 8:40 p.m. outside a bar then called the Monte Carlo Club on the corner of 15th and S Streets in Sacramento. Defendant testified at trial that he acted in self-defense. Defendant and victim Nunez had been involved at different times with the same woman, Raquel A. She married defendant in 1999 and had 3 children with him, but the couple divorced in 2009. Raquel soon began dating Nunez, and they lived together for a couple of years until they broke up in September 2011. While Raquel lived with Nunez, defendant would go to their home to pick up or drop off his children without incident. So these dudes knew each other. I didn't even know that. But after Raquel and Nunez split up, Raquel and defendant made an effort to get back together. But it did not last. Raquel began dating another man. She believed defendant was having a hard time accepting the end of their relationship because he would phone her and threaten to come over and shoot whoever was in her house. That's lame. Raquel testified she received a phone call from Nunez around July or August 2012 in which he said defendant was going to be injured and it was out of Nunez's hands. Raquel told defendant about the call and that he should protect himself. But she said nothing about this call when interviewed by police after Nunez was killed. Though she testified she thought she did tell police, defendant testified he obtained a gun after Raquel told him about Nunez's call. Defendant frequented the Monte Carlo Club just before the shooting. Defendant was standing outside the bar, talking on his cell phone to his uncle. The victim arrived at the bar and a car with 2 men. The victim's friend Daniel M. and Daniel's friend Rogelio D. Now mind you, pay attention to this. The victim, meaning the person who got killed, arrived at the bar in a car with 2 people. The defendant's friends, Daniel M. and Daniel's friend, Rogelio D. They stopped to use the restroom. Defendant saw them approach the bar entrance. Defendant stood with his side to them, holding his cell phone to his ear with one hand and holding his gun by his leg out of their sight. As Nunez approached, defendant fired 3 gunshots at Nunez from a distance about 16 feet. 2 bullets struck the victim, 1 in his chest and a fatal shot in his back. That's the boom, boom, boom part. But remember, who said boom, boom, boom first? Because it wasn't me.
And boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
But it's cool. Video surveillance cameras did not capture the shooting itself. And other than the defendant, no witnesses testified to having seen the shooting. Pay attention. Y'all see what we just said? This is the actual case. These are the facts, not opinions. Video surveillance cameras did not capture the shooting itself. And other than defendant, no witnesses, that means nobody, testified to having seen the shooting or having seen Nunez with a gun.
All right, so that's the situation right there. So basically, Ceddy Nash is explaining what happened in this case. And y'all heard what he said as far as whoever got murdered and how they got murdered. Ceddy Nash was never there as far as what this paperwork says. And this paperwork says that it wasn't a witness. Now, I don't know if this is the real legit paperwork because I don't have the paperwork in my hand. We can go there and look, oh man, it got the seal, got this and that. I'm not here to argue nothing. Like I said, I covered the situation. So being that new things were produced, I'm here back to speak on the situation again. Now, whatever happened that led to this unaliving with this lady and her body parts and her making mans mad and her messing with another dude and her ex-boyfriend coming to unalive this dude, it's crazy work. So obviously, this is a form of an appeal, some appeal paperwork of him getting back or whatnot, or trying to get back in courts. But as we can all agree and say that there is not no paperwork of Ceddy Nash being on no stand or anything like that. But What I want to know in the chats, and I'm not going to go digging off into it because I don't have time to do all that, man. Time is precious, man. I'm trying to figure out what is the situation with this Crisis or Chris's Act, because people say that you can't use your real name, or they don't use your real name when doing this. And Ceddy Nash say this is what he was doing. He states that he still has people to this day that works in the news that will pay you to do these things. And just like for me, as a banger, Ceddy Nash, that was the wrong thing to do, to allow them to have you on camera speaking what they want you to say about a crime that actually did take place. Now, this crime actually did take place, and that is you and your voice reading off what took place in this crime. So this is a crime that actually took place, and you should know as a gangbanger at times when to use your integrity. Now, if you was in fact an actor and cast in Hollywood and you was acting for a role or something like that, that's understandable. But this is a real life situation where somebody was unalived and this really happened, and they got you out there playing around talking about boom, boom, boom. These type of situations can be detrimental, and you just don't even want to be in a situation like this where you a grown-ass man have to explain yourself to other grown-ass man about principles and morals that should be intact already. That should already be intact. These things shouldn't be nothing nobody should come and be able to attack you over. But like I always say, man, players mess up and make mistakes as well, man. And sometimes, man, the game gonna make you pay for it, and sometimes you might get away with it. In this situation, obviously, whatever happened, Ceddy Nash provided the paperwork, got through to some guys, and obviously the 60s was cool with it and believed his spiel. Now, what else I want to get into is this Lil Woody thing, because that was originally what led to this situation as far as me commentating and stepping in on this matter. Now, the question was asked, regardless of your business with Lil Woody or how you feel about Lil Woody, what the hell made you think it was cool to take him to the 60s? And you as a gangbanger, what the hell was you doing hanging with this dude? And Ceddy Nash dropped a bombshell. So Ceddy Nash, like, basically, Lil Woody not a snitch. And when he said that Lil Woody was not a snitch, or he didn't tell or have ever made a statement, it was wowing and like, whoa, to where I had to hop out there like, hold on, let me ask you a question. Have you ever spun any content pertaining to Lil Woody? He said, yeah. And I said, in this content that you spun on Lil Woody, did you say that Lil Woody was a snitch or a rat? So he tried to explain some. I just want to know the answer to that question, please, sir. Yes or no, did you say he was a rat? Ceddy Nash stepped up to the plate and said, I did, in fact, say that he was a snitch and rat. I did do a segment on that. However, that was for I know what I know now, and I have a change in position in heart. So we all in the room like, so what you know that we don't know or that we didn't see on TV? So basically, Ceddy Nash, you can say, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't know, being that he is in Atlanta, he might be privy to information that we not privy to and rotating with them dudes. You feel me? Like, the social media space, hip hop, all this stuff coincides. So don't mean that he's not hanging with these dudes or don't have this information. But the information he dropped was that Lil Woody is not hot, and he didn't tell on Young Thug that Lil Woody, in fact, actually helped Young Thug. And that Young Thug already knew what Lil Woody was going to say. That Young Thug, basically, to a degree, had Lil Woody say what he got on the stand and said. Or, you know what I'm saying, a little play he went through when being not impeached, but basically being arrested, you know what I'm saying? Getting in there, oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, I don't know. I got amnesia and all that stuff. So basically, I'm not gonna lie, him going in there, getting done, playing dumb, that actually did help Young Thug. But I'm not knowing that Young Thug is the one that put this together and had him go do this. So he also dropped some information like, man, look, why y'all think Young Thug ain't ever dissed Lil Woody or said anything bad about Lil Woody? And then on top of that, Lil Woody messed with Young Thug's sister hard body. Y'all see Young Thug diss Gunna. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see Young Thug diss this person. He ain't said nothing about Woody yet. So basically, he just allowing us to think what we want to think. It is what it is. I got my freedom. So basically, No Jumper was on Ceddy Nash line. So it was like, okay, if you know Woody not a snitch, and this is in fact true what you saying, why you didn't stand on your P's and you allowing the 60s to make you publicly apologize? And Ceddy Nash basically really didn't even get out what he wanted to say, but I understood and I kind of like spoke on what I think he was trying to say or wanted to say. So basically, people seen what they seen from Lil Woody, regardless of what Young Thug told him to do, and they looking at that as telling. They don't know nothing about this Young Thug thing, having him go do that to set him free or help him in his case. They don't know nothing about that. They just know what they seen on TV. So even though he's privy to this information and know Young Thug is not a snitch, or say he's not a snitch, based on to the ones that do feel like that from what he did on TV and on camera, man, I'm going to apologize to y'all, man. I should have kept my business. But I just wanted to bring this matter up because the man did drop the paperwork to me, and he is giving that due process here on Hefe channel because I spoke his name. With that being said, I'm going to let y'all get in the comments in the chat column and let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel about this situation. If he told, if he good, the Woody situation, all that. And we going to conclude this there. It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail.
I'm trying to tell you.
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 I'm trying to tell you.